This is the Iowa Weather Report for Friday, September 4th, 2015, and now our first look at the 0Z GFS Model Run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Still have a ridge over our neck of the woods. A little bit of a weak disturbance over the Great Lakes states will be producing a little more shower and thunderstorm activity over there, and a trough over the northwest is going to continue to produce shower and a little bit of thunderstorm activity over the north and west. We'll be in between those systems, so it'll still remain sunny. Can't rule out an isolated shower or storm, though, about a 10% or less chance at that. Highs into the 80s and lower 90s, and heat indices will be well into the 90s, both today and into Saturday for people going out to college football games at Ames or at Iowa City. Better bring in the water, because you're going to need it, because it's going to be very hot, very humid, especially in stadiums. Readings well into the 80s and 90s. It will be fairly dry until maybe late Saturday night into Sunday in our western counties, where a front is finally going to make it into the state with a little bit of activity on Sunday. It'll move into the rest of the state Sunday night and into Labor Day Monday with a chance of some showers and storms. The western counties could see a little bit of sunshine here on Labor Day. Highs will be back into the upper 70s through the 80s, especially on Labor Day. A bit warmer on Sunday as the front will be just moving into the state at that point. But another disturbance comes in after that on Tuesday and into Wednesday with another chance of some showers and storms. It's going to be hit or miss, about 40% crack. The amount of clouds around, we could see readings only in the 70s to lower 80s or so both Tuesday and into Wednesday. But late on Wednesday, we should see this system finally move out. Skies will begin to clear by late in the afternoon into the evening on Wednesday, and temperatures will be near seasonal levels as we move through the end of the week. Especially on Thursday, high pressure overhead, highs in the 70s to lower 80s, lows in the 50s to lower 60s. Very pleasant, nice day to be able to open the windows, go out, and not have to worry about sweating and whatnot like we have been the last few days. And even as we go into next Friday, you can see a system moving across Manitoba and western Ontario. This will be close enough that this could bring us a little bit of activity, but it might be after this period. This will be with a frontal system that you can barely see. There's a little bit of activity from about the northern and western Great Lakes back into the plains. It will move through maybe by next weekend, but we still have plenty of time to watch and plenty of time for this to change as well. Speaking of that, here's more changes. September the 15th, the middle of the month, a fairly decent system moving through the Great Lakes as the flow turns more west-northwesterly. No real ridges except for the Bermuda High out in the Atlantic, and a little bit of one in the far southern plains. But other than that, there's going to be a lot of activity, it looks like, for the middle of the month. And this looks to extend to the end of the period as well, so quite a bit of shower and maybe a few rumbles of thunder, with temperatures fairly close to seasonal levels in the 70s to lower 80s. At the end of the model, on the 19th, look what's back. The ridge over the south and east. This more than likely is the Bermuda High kind of extending back into the United States. Fairly decent trough over the west. We've seen this on models over the past couple of days, and it looks like quite showery and stormy across the south and west up into the Rockies and into the northern and western northern plains and western Great Lakes, but we still have plenty of time to watch it, and we'll keep watching it for you as well. Satellite image from last evening. A couple of showers and storms, a couple of complexes, one over the Great Lakes. A little bit of activity across the plain states. That's with this slow-moving system that's going to edge into the state later in the weekend, and fairly quiet elsewhere across the country, as is by the watch warning map. Flash flood watch across the lower part of Michigan, along with a dense fog advisory. Red flag warnings in the Intermountain West, and we still have a frost advisory in south central Oregon into far northeastern California. QPF chart. Precipitation over the next 5 days through Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock shows rainfall amounts pretty much about an inch or so, maybe a little bit less than that. We'll keep watching it as we move along.